Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You damn right, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Well, that's a good picture. I like that. In any case, we got Tevin in studio. Well, is that studio A? So that's A and this is B where I am, and then there's the A studio for Tevin, B studio for me, and the Sugar Tit studio for AJ. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. It's some of us refer to it as the C studio, but yes, it is. I'm at home today, unfortunately.
So do you even want to talk about what happened, or you just want to blow through it?
No, we can talk about it. I feel like that's the elephant in the room. We have to address it here. So some people may know, some people may not. I play in the largest competitive wiffle ball league in the nation on Thursday nights in the summer, the HRL. Last night we had a pretty pivotal 2-game series. We had to win to keep like our hopes of winning our division alive. We won our first game, and the second game it's pretty even, good pitching duel. Late in the game, I hit hard ground ball. I'm trying to beat it out. I lose my footing. Midair, I'm trying to adjust. I know I'm going down. How can I brace for impact? I didn't brace for impact too well, guys. I landed right on my shoulder. I heard a crunch. Ended up having to go to the ER. I was like, okay, maybe it's just like dislocated. They can pop back in. I'll just be sore tomorrow. There is a ligament that connects the collarbone to the shoulder joint, the acromial joint or something like that. That's torn. So I cannot use my right arm for a little bit. So
what's a little bit?
Until I get cleared by a doctor, I'm going to try to schedule something early next week at some point, just to like get in there and start getting rehabilitation going. It sounds like it's not like the way I dodged a big bullet, because it sounds like, unfortunately, I get all the pain as if I needed surgery and everything was bad, but there was nothing broken, nothing's fractured. Just the pain is not the best, but we push through. It's another Tom Barnard morning show. I had to, we're going to wake up. We're going to bring the energy. Why not?
We're going to bring the energy, ladies. So you're right-handed, aren't you?
Yes. And let me tell you, my morning has been an adventure so far.
Oh yeah. I would imagine it's probably, well, I mean, just the man, I mean, Tevin, I could run this by you. So if you're right-handed, you hurt your right shoulder, your right arm. How's he going to cuff the carrot?
Yeah. A lot of lonely nights for AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Showering, not the most fun. I've never taken granted being able to put a shirt on with 2 arms until this morning. That stunk. Not looking forward to when I have to wipe my ass for the first time. So that's going to stink.
Perfect. But I don't know if I could do that with my left hand. Honest to God, I didn't even think about that, because if I was done with I don't even know if I could do that with my left hand.
Right? I
rush out and buy a bidet quick.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work. When I heard about this first, I heard about it last night, and then I kept looking at my phone and checking my phone, because I could have sold you like $12 worth of ketamine for $2,000, and you'd be here in studio this morning. So,
I didn't know you were shoveling that. I didn't know you were the guy.
Did you see that story?
No, I didn't. What's going on?
A dealer known as Ketamine Queen and 2 doctors among 5 charged in the death of Matthew Perry. The Ketamine Queen, or this doctor, they worked together somehow or whatever. They sold $12 worth of ketamine to Matthew Perry for $2,000. How do you even get to know people that would do that to you?
Yeah, and if you're Matthew Perry, who has had a long history of drug-related things, how are you getting got for $2,000 over $5 of ketamine?
$12. Come on now, it's more expensive than $5.
Sorry, $12.
The Ketamine Queen.
We've seen price gouging in some grocery stores and supermarkets. Sure. I didn't know it was crossing over to the ketamine market as well.
Inflation is out of control on drugs.
U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada said, and I quote, "These defendants were more interested in profiting off Mr. Perry than caring about his well-being." Really? Are you sure?
Imagine that. The drug dealer, not concerned with your health.
I have never purchased anything from a drug dealer. So how does that even work? How do you get to know them?
I mean, I've never purchased, like, the only drug I've ever purchased is weed. And I've never purchased it from somebody I don't know. But yeah, I could never, like the days of walking up to somebody on the street and be like, let me get a bag of that white powder in your pocket and I'm going to go smoke it and see what happens. Not for me.
I guarantee you some low-level, medium market talent on the radio will put out Ketamine Queen. What was that character? Caribbean Queen? Was that Caribbean Queen?
I think I know what you're talking about.
There's a song when Caribbean Queen, and I don't remember. It was a horrible song anyway. But how do you not know that $12 worth of ketamine is not worth $2,000? Or are you that desperate, that addicted to it that you just don't care?
Yeah, it's probably that. And I'm sure they go, well, this is only the highest quality ketamine for you, Mr. Perry. Yeah. And so you got to pay the celebrity tax. Yeah.
I don't know. It's so sad. These defendants were more interested in profiting off Mr. Perry than caring about his well-being. Saga, the so-called Ketamine Queen, and Placentia. Your name is Placentia? How about placenta? Just cut the CIA off and put a PA on there. Dr. P, I wouldn't want to be known as that either, are facing charges that include conspiracy to distribute ketamine, distribution of the drug resulting in death, possession with intent to distribute, and altering and falsifying records related to the federal investigation, according to the indictment. I have never purchased drugs on the street in my life. I mean, even back in the smoking weed days, I never bought it. Somebody else, bought it. I didn't hit it that hard anyway, because I thought, you're still inhaling smoke. That's not a good thing, right?
Yeah.
No.
So I don't know. It's a very sad story. I always did like him. I did interview him many, many years ago on the Q, and he seemed like a very odd guy. He was a nice enough guy, but he was very odd. So is that all? Do you think we'll ever find out what drove him to destroy his life the way he did? Because the guy was making millions on a very popular show. Handsome guy, seemed personable. Something really bad must have happened to him in his life to have to tone down those ill feelings by using that kind of drug.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of like issues with celebrities that sometimes the fame, you can't take it. Like I saw an interview with Josh Peck from Drake and Josh, and he was talking. They were asking about being on the show, and he was like, well, I was high on cocaine, everything I could get my hands off of for from season 3 and beyond.
Right.
So you hear a lot of stories like that where they're just like, it's probably drugs are everywhere, whether it's behind the scenes or whatever else. And it's easy to get hooked on it. And then once you're hooked, you can't stop.
Well, I guess he wasn't kidding about the headaches. You give me headaches.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. I once was offered a job in New York City. And I don't want to say the guy's name. I do remember his name, but I don't want to say it because he's dead. But I said, well, the guy you got on there is very, very popular. They said, yeah, but it's we've gotten to a level where we just have to move on. And I said, well, is he just a terrible guy? No, he's actually a good guy. They finally admitted, and I turned down the job because of this. He was, during his morning show, drinking about 1.5 quart of liquor every morning during the show.
No.
I'm like, I can't replace somebody that, and the guy eventually did. I think he actually did die on the air, if I remember. Do you have any listings for people who died on the air in New York City? Because there are probably more than one. I would imagine that's probably true. But I could not take a job like that. This guy's killing himself. And see, I assumed that if I did replace him, they fired him, he would be dead within a week. And then he died, I don't know, a few months later anyway. It's very, very sad. What do you got?
I'm trying to see about, it's not having a list of any of them that have died on air. It's just kind of, there's been a lot, it looks like recently, that have died.
Really?
Yeah, somebody named Mr. C. Don Imus, well, that was a while ago.
But he was a booze hound. Was he a booze hound or a drug guy?
He was, I believe he was a booze hound, and then he called the Rutgers basketball team like a bunch of hoes or something like that.
Oh, he did. He called them hoes. Yeah, and the basketball team was all black women, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then
there's a good call. Call them hoes.
We didn't hear from Mr. Imus much more after that.
We did not. Then he died several years ago, as a matter of fact. But yeah. It's hard to believe that Radio people are unstable. Who ever heard of that?
Yeah, and I mean, you
Not
put
us.
a microphone in front of somebody's face for years upon years. They're bound to say something.
Yeah,
that might get them in trouble.
I never did.
Oh no, except for you.
I was, I should go back and try to listen to some of the shows I did back when I did used to drink. And as Kristyn Burtt, KB2, has pointed out many times, that when I was hitting her a little hard, I would get home at about 2 a.m. and then get up at about 3:30 and go into work. So that hour and a half of sleep really didn't work all that well. I got to be honest with you. So there's got to be some recordings where I'm like, what else happened? If my voice got really, really deep, it was because I was out the night before. I have a friend named Kendall Norberg who we'd go out, and as I'd get deeper into the night and all the rest of it, I would get this attitude, which is hard to believe for me that I would get an attitude.
Shocker.
But if I got to that point with Kendall, he would put he had huge hands, or he has huge hands, I should say. And he put his hand over my face and go, "You need to calm down." I'm like, okay, I could do that. It's good to have friends like that. A lot of those guys, and I'm assuming, that might be the situation with Matthew Perry. He must not have had really any good friends. You think? I mean, because if one of you guys was going down that road, I would go, "Look, you're killing yourself. Cut it out." Right?
Yeah.
Didn't you have any friends like that?
It's good to have that kind of support system, obviously not every friend can be like, to your point, your Kendall, where it's like you're going over the line and all of a sudden, hey, you got to calm down. You're going to have some friends that maybe partake in the stuff that you want to do in those festivities, but it's, it feels like there's got to be at least one, maybe two in a friend group where it's the responsible one, the one that's going to be able to realize, all right, everybody's got to bring it back. We're crossing into a realm that's a little dangerous here.
Very, very sad.
Yep. We've got season 6 of Friends to film tomorrow, Matthew. Like, we got to put it down for a little bit.
Could you just quickly, because I know we got to get to Phil, because he's probably higher than hell, right? Because we'll get to him about a minute late, so he's probably completely jacked by now, I'm assuming. But I mean, I don't know. It's just such a sad story. I like Matthew Perry. I thought he was really good on that show. I said, I talked to him once. He's a very nice guy. But Jesus, it's like, what do you do? Oh, this is nice. 5 people have been charged in Matthew Perry's death, including one who called him a moron. So you sell him drugs, $12 worth of drugs for $2,000, and then you start calling him a moron? What does that make you? You're squeezing money out of an addicted moron, according to you, and you're okay with that? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that. Okay, let's go from one loser to another. Phil Mackey's up next. So, what do you think?
I like it. Great transition.
No question. Beer, food, Vikings, and real-life jousting. The only place you can find all of these together is the 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival, happening weekend starting August 17th, which is tomorrow, through September 29th, plus Labor Day, and September 27th, located at the Renaissance Festival grounds in Shakopee, Minnesota. It's fun for the entire family as you adventure around the grounds, finding amazing food and drinks, tons of different street acts, live music, and full armored jousting. And you can meet King Henry, too, because I talked to King Henry. He's a very nice guy. There's always something exciting going on at the Minnesota Renaissance Festival. You like to live on the edge? Try your hand at axe throwing, shooting a crossbow, climbing a rock wall, or test your wits in an escape room. It's also perfect for kids of all ages, featuring a petting zoo, various rides and games, along with arts and craft events. Plus, with over 250 artisans and shops around the festival, you may just find something that scratches your medieval itch. Visit RenaissanceFest.com now for discount tickets, parking passes, and all other information. The 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival. Visit RenaissanceFest.com today. And then the second commercial.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
This is going really smoothly, I think. You're a disaster.
Sorry, trying to troubleshoot a technical issue with
No,
AJ.
what'd you do now? AJ, what did you do now? This is your fault.
No, Tevin, if you want to go ahead and so if you really quick on your production meeting, if you right click if you right click the live studio macro that's in the log already that was at the top of the show,
Yep.
click and paste it into the log lower ahead and then just play through it, and then we'll be able to have that fixed.
Okay,
you can do that right now, or should I read the next commercial?
You should start reading probably.
I should. Okay. Let's take a second to talk about my bank. That would be North American Banking Company. I'm going to go see them today, as a matter of fact. You've heard me talking about them for a long time now. When they opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they know you. While a lot has changed since 1998, this commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities has not. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Silence is golden, golden.
all right. I don't know why this.
You're a disaster.
This is.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You know, it's going to be great, though. We could burn up that extra 15, 20 minutes and go right into the family show right after this one. It'll all work out beautifully. You know what I mean? And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's Phil Mackey.
Hello, everybody. Yes.
What's happening, Pally?
Well, big win for the Twins last night. But when the Twins do well, the Vikings lose their quarterback for the season. So, not all things can be great in Minnesota sports at the same time, unfortunately.
Well, it's only been about, 35 years since they've been great at anything.
Yeah. Yep. It's someone emailed this morning and they said, is there just something with the universe that when the gods created all of this, that they only gave us a certain sliver of happiness? Like we max out on like a sliver of happiness as Minnesota sports fans. I think he might be onto something.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but what's so amazing about that is I never even thought about this really. If you met somebody who's, let's say, 35 years old, they've never seen the Twins be totally successful and win a World Series. Yeah. And they're already almost 35. Well, they are 35 years old. That happened, 33 or 34 years ago, correct?
Yeah, I'm 39, and I vaguely remember going into my first grade classroom the day after Kirby Puckett hit the home run in Game 6 and seeing newspaper clippings. But yeah, and so I'm 39, and I barely remember as a 5 or 6 year old with that.
Yeah. Well, it's like my memory of the Minneapolis Lakers, because I think they moved out of town when I was about 5 or 6, something like that.
I saw someone posted a photo on my Twitter feed yesterday of the last ever Minneapolis Lakers game at the Armory downtown. Was there air conditioning, or were people just packed in? Like, I suppose it's the winter time, so you don't really need air conditioning, but
I went
people
there
were packed,
once.
Man.
Yeah, I went there once when I was a little kid. I've been there several times since then, but once as a little kid, and that was the day I ran into. Well, I didn't run into him, but Wilt Chamberlain was there. You did hear what I did yesterday, didn't you?
No, I don't think so.
I said, "How's Wilt Chamberlain doing?" And everybody in the show said, "Well, he died 24 years ago, but other than that." I just wouldn't admit to myself that Wilt Chamberlain was dead. He was my hero when I was like a 5, 6-year-old boy, so I wouldn't admit to myself, I guess, that he was dead.
Isn't there a website called, I'm going to Google this real quick, Yeah, dead or alive database.
See?
Where I think you can just like search for people. Oh yeah, okay. Okay. So I don't know who updates this or how it works, but they've got some of the most recent celebrity deaths on here. Like Chichi Rodriguez died a few days ago. The golfer.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he died a couple days ago. That's too bad.
See, you should make this your homepage. Every day you can just search. It's like an obituary for famous people.
How about this? Today, Matthew Perry. Only he didn't just die, but they found out who killed him.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about. So we have more details on like who sold him the drugs or something.
Yeah, 5 people have been indicted. Somebody sold him $12. The Ketamine Queen sold him $12 worth of ketamine for $2,000.
The Ketamine Queen?
You got it.
That's her brand?
Well, it was actually Catherine's name, and then we had to change it because the woman in L.A. took the name. So
Yeah, I thought I saw someone on Instagram follow me, the Ketamine Queen. I didn't know that was Catherine.
It's Catherine, yeah. I just call her, Big K. That's what I just call her. So it all works out now. I can't even imagine Catherine doing drugs, even much less selling them.
No.
But that's
if she started doing drugs, what are the 3 hardcore drugs you think she would dabble in?
Aspirin would be one of them. No question about it.
For me, it's Ben and Jerry's. That's
Ben and Jerry's. Oh, I had a little ice cream last night. It was wonderful.
Oh, really?
That's one thing about being on a diet that people do not understand. Because now I've lost, I think, a total of, I think I've lost like a total of 38 pounds or something like that. And when you go in and you weigh in, because I'll weigh in another week from yesterday, so another 6 days from now I'll weigh in again. But you go and treat yourself to something like I had some ice cream last night. You got to reward yourself for success, because if you don't, it just won't be that important to you, and you'll screw it up.
And yeah, if you deprive let's say you love ice cream, and I do. I'll dabble in some ice cream.
I do. Oh.
Dairy free, because sometimes dairy gets the best of me. But if you just go without any of the rewarding foods for like 6 months or a year, and then you just open back up to all the rewarding foods, now you're weaving in samplings of the rewarding foods.
You got to do that. And I don't think people really understand that because actually I went to lunch yesterday. I went to dinner yesterday, both times out in public. And then had the ice cream. So yesterday, didn't weigh myself, but I guarantee you I probably put on 2 pounds yesterday because I haven't been eating like that. But I have 6 more days to get back to where I need to be. And, if you had it within 1 week, it's easy to just say, hey, that's not that big a deal, Tom. You can take it off. People get extreme. Well, one of the problems we have with the world right now is politics have become the ketamine of the American public.
Yeah.
It's got to be, if you're a Democrat, you got to be way far left. And if you're a Republican, you got to be way far right. How about going down the middle and trying to deal with each other instead of your assholes that are running for office are calling each other morons and imbeciles? And I don't want to vote for anybody that says that about their opponent.
Here's the other thing. It's funny. I got an email, 2 great emails from listeners this morning that have me either triggered or thinking about life. So someone emailed me this morning about the Vikings quarterback situation and how so JJ McCarthy goes down with the injury, and Judd and I both agree that, hey, when he comes back, we think he's going to be awesome. He's a leader. He's got a great arm. We think it's just delayed gratification.
Right.
And the emailer sends in, I'll just read a snippet of it here. The episode you guys did yesterday was slobbering homerism at its worst. And he goes on to explain how he thinks J.J. McCarthy is going to be a gigantic bust. You guys are throwing him bouquets. He doesn't deserve it. Should we send the tape of his preseason game to Canton? You guys are slobbering homers. Your Kool-Aid drinking is getting me to unsubscribe to your podcast. To which, here's my response to that. And whether this is a football conversation or a political conversation.
Yes, you're right.
We have lost the ability to consume dissenting opinions about something without going the extra step and saying, unsubscribe. I want you out of my life. If you think this, then we can no longer coexist in the same room and have a discussion or a relationship. It's like, okay, buddy, we disagree on a quarterback discussion, and you're going to unsubscribe to the podcast. Screw you. I don't want you to listen to our podcast if that's the way you view the world.
Well, and once again, we have 4 different people on the air right now. We did not all 4 live the same lives. We're going to like some of the same things, and we're going to like some things that are different. Everybody's life is different than yours, where these people assume, well, you got to be just like me or I don't like you. It's like, geez, why don't you be a little more egotistical, you pain in the ass?
Yeah. It's why, and what's crazy, social media has been great in so many ways, but it's also been really cancerous in a lot of other ways, because you can essentially either by yourself you can custom create a feed of worldview or information that only validates the things that you think, as opposed to getting outside information and then including that in your own algorithm. I don't know, man. Like you start to scroll through and you just get a bunch of things that validate what you think. I think it's healthy to at least hear things from people who came up from different backgrounds or have different beliefs, even if you disagree. It's important, I think. Sports or politics, by the way.
No, when I sent that to you, did I put my name on it?
That's right. It's from it was actually from the Ketamine King, it looks like.
Yeah, there you go. The Ketamine King. Yeah, I had an argument with a guy a couple of months ago because he was asking me. I didn't know the guy. He knew we have a mutual friend, but I don't know him. And he came up to me and started talking to me about my career and this and that and the other thing. And he asked me, he was talking about money and all this stuff. And he goes, it's kind of really, really cool to talk to somebody like you because we have very similar lives. And I said, your parents are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. We do not have the same life at all. It doesn't matter how successful I'm ever going to get. I am never going to have as much money as you're going to get when your parents croak. So don't try to say we're shoulder to shoulder, because we're not.
It's easy to make assumptions. People love to make assumptions. Someone came up to me like 2 weeks ago. I was at Vikings training camp just watching practice, and there was some Vikings fans in like a VIP area that kind of got inside the rope where the media is.
Oh, sure.
And a couple guys came up and recognized me and Judd and, hey, like, love the podcast. And I don't know if he was nervous or just being a dick, but he goes, man, yeah, you got really cool what you guys are doing, with that Purple Daily podcast. I have no idea how you guys make money on that, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. They have no clue.
But he literally says it to me, and I'm like, well, first of all, not sure that's your business. I'm happy to talk to you about the business of media now and where it's going and how popular podcasts are becoming. But when you just meet someone, it's sort of weird to talk about that. I don't know.
I think it's very, very weird because look, as you guys get a little further on in life, you're going to run into people who say things to you like, so how much, and I'm just making up numbers here, just throwing them out. So this is Bill. We're not one of the 4 of us. This is Bill we're talking about. So, like I said, some rich kid, mommy and daddy and grandma and grandpa made a lot of money, all the rest of it. So how much do you make a year? And the other guy goes, well, I make, $5 million. Really? You have to work for that much? That's too bad. It's like 5 million is nothing to these people because they're and now they're making decisions about what your team is doing because they own it and all these other things. It's just like, I don't understand why. How do you make money on your podcast? Well, you sell advertising. That's
correct. Yeah. You build an audience and then you mobilize the audience to connect them with advertisers. There's other ways too, but if you come in hot with that type of question, I'm probably not going to talk to you about the inner workings of the business. He also asked about, I think he was just nervous. I really think he was just nervous. But,
okay.
But he goes, he came back around like 20 minutes later and he goes, hey, so how long has it been since your dad died? Your dad died, right? And I was like, yeah, I mean, he died like a year ago. And he goes, okay, yeah, I remember that happening. Silence. And I'm like, are you, like, I just met you, sir, 5 minutes ago, and you're asking about my dead dad. But it's also, I think, people that listen to radio shows and podcasts, it's the ultimate compliment in some ways, in that they feel like you are a part of their lives. And
no, that's true.
It's a connection that you build on a daily basis. But I was just like fending off these wildly personal questions and like, wow, yeah, my dad definitely died. Yep. You got a follow-up question there?
How much do you make every year before taxes? Is that something you're comfortable talking about?
There you go. There you go. And you guys, the bigger your shows get, you're going to run into things like, aren't you the guy that does that morning show or does a podcast or whatever, however they bring it up? Yes, I am. Yeah, well, I've never heard it. Yeah. My response is always, you think I give a shit that you've never heard? I don't care. Why do you have to tell me that? I don't even know who you are, you douche.
Yeah. Oh, I love when people, like, we had an event the other night and just 50 or 60 people, just a small, we called it Mackey and Judd Unplugged, just over beers at Padres. And
oh, that's good.
I love when you build those connections and so like 95% of people that come up are amazing. And I feel like I've known them for a long time, but there's always 5% that are just weird or want to like prove that they know more about sports or whatever it happens to be. It's like, okay.
Like they've been just traveling around downtown waiting to see you to talk about that take you had 5 years ago about Christian Ponder. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of takes about Christian Ponder.
Is that his wife that just got fired by ESPN?
Sam Ponder.
Budget
Ponder,
cuts.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and who is it? Robert Griffin III, I think, got fired too. Do you know why'd they fire him? Just cutting the budget or something?
Yeah, budget cuts allegedly.
Okay.
Although Robert Griffin III, he's been getting into it with Paul Feinbaum on Twitter about how good Florida State and other schools may or may not be. So.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah, and Sam Ponder, I think, only works Sundays during the football season and makes millions of dollars. So that legitimately could have been a budget cut. Like, wait a second, we're paying you like millions of dollars to work 17 to 20 weeks.
She was very, very nice. I had dinner with Christian and her. When was he here?
2,011 he was drafted, or it's so like 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah. So it was 10, 12 years ago. I had dinner with them at a friend's house. Both very nice, very pleasant people. So what the hell? What are you going to do?
She blocked literally everyone on Vikings Twitter 10 years ago. So I had never interacted with her at all on Twitter, but I would criticize her husband in a fair way. You know, it wasn't like super personal. And I think a lot of what we found was she had some sort of search open on Twitter for her husband's name, and she would block anyone that was criticizing her husband's poor play. He was a bad quarterback. I mean, he's a good guy. He's just a crappy quarterback. I don't know what to tell you.
We can close with this. Talk to Catherine Brandt and say, hey, Catherine, what do you think of these people that are criticizing your husband on social media? Oh, I don't give a shit. Yeah. There. That's that's going to be her response, which is why I love her so much. Just, who cares what he does?
She's like, who cares? And here's a few extra things to add to the list.
Exactly.
He's the one behind most of it, actually.
Absolutely. All right, Phil. Well, we like you, no matter what this guy said.
Thank you. I needed that validation going into my Friday here.
All right, pal. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Sounds good, boys. See you Monday.
Thanks a lot. We'll take a break. Come right back, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Egert will join us, and we'll complain about his life, too. Don't you think we should?
Yeah, I think so. Why not? Absolutely. He's probably got something we can complain about.
I like it. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours, too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market, the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh, 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice, and I am a paid endorser.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support and to thank you. They're having overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived. Won't last long. 6-pack towel sets, only $29.98. Take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best prices ever, best specials ever too, go to mypillow.com and call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146, go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Chris, what's up?
Nothing. Happy Friday.
What do you mean nothing's up? You had this great impact on the show yesterday with your big story that you didn't tell us about. But, you know.
What was my story? I don't remember.
No, there was a big story yesterday.
We had that breaking news that happened in the middle of the show because the dog was elected mayor, I believe.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, the dog mayor from Cormorant. Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about how pissed off I was over that story yesterday. I really had that stuck in my craw, and then I took it to the 9 o'clock show, and I made about 7 flippant comments about it too.
Not you.
And I could tell nobody thought it was funny, so then I really wanted to double down on it, which was even better. So
what do you got for us today? Anything? When I go to the local news websites, I find out who killed who yesterday, because there's always 2 or 3, anywhere from 2 to 5 of them every single day now. People are just loving to kill one another right now, aren't they?
This is a somewhat typical pattern when summertime months roll around, because there are more people out and about and doing God knows what. So there was some of that overnight. I think a teenager got shot in St. Paul, 15-year-old. Somebody just walked up to the house and fired into the house and shot the person. Don't know what led up to that. And then somebody was killed in South Minneapolis yesterday too, I believe.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
So a couple days ago, we had a fire that I mentioned sort of just south of downtown where like 94 and 35 loop around, and there's a neighborhood right there, kind of by the bandbox, the little restaurant. There's a fire there, and they went back through the rubble and they found 2 people's bodies in there.
That's what I heard.
And they're back there again today, I think, continuing to look. It looked really bad the night it happened, and it didn't particularly look like this place had. I mean, I don't know the polite way to say this, but the building looked fairly run down. And I don't know. It's awful to think that some people just weren't even able to get out of their apartment buildings. Well, so I think there's like 30 people who are displaced in that at this point. So,
and now they're saying that the fire was intentionally set, huh?
They alluded to that. I can't. What was the way they used a very coy way of saying it. I can't remember. Before just blatantly saying it was arson or whatever. But yeah.
That'll do it. I don't know what you have to go through in life where you get to the point you want to torch a building that has 30 people in it.
I mean,
what happened to you?
Yeah, I guess I don't know now that I say that I'd seen anything that it was, Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to say anymore because the
Some
investigation
news agencies said
yeah, no, I saw that, but I haven't seen anything further other than sort of just saying that it was suspicious. So
I do understand that. There's no question about it.
What else? Metallica's in town. Anybody going?
Is that what, 4 straight nights or something somebody said?
No, tonight and Sunday night. Tonight's show it looks to be pretty much sold out. Sunday night show, there's a ton of tickets and they're pretty affordable actually.
Well, that's good.
I went to a weeknight show a couple weeks ago and that was way too much for me. There's no way I could do it again on a Sunday night. But
you guys ever go to the Good Day Cafe over there? And what would that be? Is that St. Louis Park or Golden Valley?
Golden Valley. I don't know if you're north of 394 there, if that makes it Golden Valley or not, but
I think it is Golden Valley. You're absolutely right. But what I loved about it, I've known her for quite some time, and I love that place. The people who work there are great. The food's great and all the rest of it. Tommy, you know what I'm doing? I said, what are you doing? I'm going to 4 Metallica shows in the next couple of weeks. She's going to go to 4 different shows.
I bet she went down to Chicago because they were down there last weekend.
Oh yeah,
that would make sense. So
she
4 right in a row.
She was fired up, man. No question about it. She was all excited to go see Metallica.
I really wanted to go, but it's not going to work out. The last time I had a chance to see them, I actually bought the tickets. It would have been about 1992. I'd say the tickets probably cost $18.95. And I was a senior in high school and had the tickets, and I ended up making the state track meet, and it was the same weekend. Okay. So I had to go to the state track meet, and I couldn't go to the concert. I was super bummed.
She also said something to me yesterday, which it's getting more frustrating by the minute. I've known this woman for quite some time. She's a wonderful person. First thing she says to me when she sees me sitting at the booth, or in the booth, excuse me. So how's retirement going? I'm like, son of a bitch.
Not freaking retired, man.
I still don't understand why the Q had to do that to me. I gave them back a lot of money when I left there. I said, you just keep it. I don't care. Do whatever you want. They still had to stab me in the back. Why are people like that? I don't get it.
It's an ugly business.
That's why God's making them pay it back by that 1.6 year. So good for you. I hope your retirement you wouldn't be retired though. You just be fired. Oh, you big baby.
I wonder if they have one of those like in restaurants or businesses will have a days since the last incident counter. I wonder if they have like a days since we had a rating over 2 counter.
I'm sure they do.
Up every day.
It's only been about what now? It's I guess about 530 days since we've had over a 1.6 year, over at that joint. Nice call, you dumbass. Anyway, moving forward, what else you got for us? Because I know you got to go in like 2 minutes.
Let's see. They shut down the Smith Foundry, which was kind of a big deal because the people living around there have been complaining. It's in Minneapolis, have been sort of raising concerns about environmental concerns about it for years. Mm-hmm. And it kind of got into some EPA thing. And I think as part of a settlement, they agreed to close it, but 50 people were without jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened overnight, and flight attendants on Sun Country are considering going on strike because they say their contemporaries at other airlines are making more money, and that Sun Country Airlines is doing very well. So they want a piece of the pie.
Well, I'm glad to hear that they should get a piece of pie. We can close with this.
Yeah.
I worked at the Smith Foundry many years. I worked at 2 different foundries, and Smith was one of them. Yep. And my first day, my second day, actually, because the first day on the job, I was very happy to have a new job and it was paying pretty well and all the rest of it. So I went out with my buddies. I was only 18 years old, but I went out with my buddies and hit her kind of hard.
Boys do a little boozing afterwards.
Yes, we did. And the next day I was a little hungover and the guy said, look out. I almost walked into an entire vat full of molten lead.
Oh my God.
I mean, if I'd have run into that thing, it might have spilled on me and I would have been deader than hell.
Yes.
So I tried not to ever be hungover again when I worked at a foundry.
Yeah, that's kind of a dangerous job to be not completely clear-headed doing your work.
I also worked at a place called General Metalware, and my first day there, and I was, I think, 19 when I worked there, and a guy walked up to me and said, Tommy, I want you to do this. do not do what I did. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, his middle two fingers were missing.
I had a feeling this was going to involve missing digits. Or something.
My God. All right, Pally, we'll have a magnificent weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Yeah, you guys have a great weekend. See ya.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Do we have to work with Sandy? I mean, do we get a vote?
I mean, I think he already technically joined and is waiting to get on. So at this point, it would be rude. But next week, we might be able to work something out.
Give him the hook.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back with Sandy right after this. I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You are indeed Sandy now joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Sandy, today...
Yeah.
You're not wearing a hat. You always wear a hat.
I didn't wear a hat today. I washed my head.
Do you have a microphone that actually works?
No, I'm remote.
Oh, you're remote. Where are you? In the hospital?
No, I'm at the. I spent a few hours in the hospital over the weekend. My wife had a horse step on her foot. Fortunately,
that's what I heard.
For her, it was an older horse, so it was very frail and light. It's only about 900 pounds. Oh. Could have been worse. Okay. No, I'm at the Buffalo Rodeo Grounds, the first high school rodeo event of the season. We're hosting it at Buffalo.
Okay, since we're going to do this, I don't want to talk about sports. The Twins did win, so that's good.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, but I want to do an entertainment report with Bob Sansevere.
Like
you like that anyway, don't you?
I do. Yeah. I enjoy that.
I have not read this story, but it has a good headline. Sometimes a new celebrity comes out of nowhere and is everywhere, and they seem like the next big thing, like Matt Damon back in the day, or the next Betty White. If the next Betty White, okay, whatever.
Never going to be another Betty White.
No, you're right. But other times they fade into obscurity. Oh my God, I just saw that. This makes me sad. Okay, these are the people, 10 people who looked like they were going to be the next big thing, but then surprisingly fizzled out. And I want to see if the three of you agree with these 10. Okay?
Yep.
Because I'm seeing some names on here. It's like, oh, I don't want to hear that they fizzled out. But I guess if they fizzled out, they fizzled out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not our fault.
Anna Sophia Robb from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in the show The Carrie Diaries. I've never even heard of her.
No, she doesn't belong on this list because she was a nobody from the get-go.
Okay, good, because I have no idea who that even is.
She was more of like a child actor that just never took the next step to like getting adult roles, I think, right?
You know, it's really funny. The first four, I never even heard of any of the four of them.
Okay.
Maybe I did, but I forgot about them then. Number 9 is Hayden Christensen from Star Wars prequel trilogy.
Yeah, he did nothing after that.
I never even heard of the guy.
Yeah, you did. You saw him if you watched Star Wars.
I'm not a big
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. This guy I never heard of. Superman Returns with Brandon Routh or Routh. I never even heard of this guy.
You've seen him if you watch the Superman. Yeah, he was one of these pretty boys, but I think he was a little short for Superman.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, that might be the problem here because I never liked Star Wars or the Superman Returns stuff. I never saw any of that stuff.
Well, I'm going to wait. I got a name that when you said people who didn't make it big and you thought they would, I got one for you.
Okay,
well, done with the list if she's not on.
All right, sounds good. Number 7, Taylor Kitsch from the shows Friday Night Lights and Waco and the movie John Carter. Never heard of him either. Or is it a woman?
No, he was in Battleground.
He was in Battleground?
Battleship.
So you don't even know who it is either.
No, he was from Battleship. I know exactly who he is.
Yeah, he was in
Battleship. Fizzled.
He's actually had fairly regular roles, but he hasn't broken out like some fans thought he might. Some suggest that he's intentionally keeping his career on a more under the radar level. Why would you do that? Yes, I don't want to make millions of dollars. I'll be on under the radar. So the first 4, I never even heard of any of these people. Number 6, I've heard of, and I've always liked this guy. And it is kind of sad because I haven't seen him in anything. Skeet Ulrich from Scream. Do you like him?
He's been very sporadic. He's all right.
And I thought he was a good actor. We get to the top 5, and once again, I'm in big trouble because I don't know any of these people either. Mia Wasikowska from Alice in Wonderland and the show In Treatment.
Nope.
And have you ever even heard of her?
No idea.
Never heard of
They
her.
should have just named this list. Here's 10 obscure actors and actresses you may or may not have heard of.
You're absolutely right. Shailene Woodley from Divergent.
I know who that is. She dated Aaron Rodgers for a little bit.
Oh, she did? So
that's how you know her, though.
She made a lot of bad choices.
She was in, like, I want to say she was in The Fault in Our Stars, maybe. And, like, she's been in movies.
Oh.
I thought she was.
know her.
Yeah, like, I know her. I thought she's probably the biggest name on this list so far.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah,
Shailene Woodley is?
I think she's probably the most success, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I thought she I didn't know she was an actress. I thought she was like a gymnast or something. So good for her for being a famous actress.
We get to the top 3, and number 3, never heard of her or him. Alex Pettyfer.
I thought you were going a whole
different. Me too.
I was going to say, I wonder why they didn't land any more big roles.
I mean, have you ever heard of Alex Pettyfer?
Was he in that Amazing Creature thing?
He was in Magic Mike.
Yeah, Magic Mike. He was in I Am Number 4, which came out in 2011. His most
is he the blonde guy?
Yeah, the most recent thing he's been in is the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Never heard of that either.
Oh, is that on streaming yet? Because that is one I want to watch.
I think it is. I've been meaning to watch it too.
Yeah, it looks like you can watch it now on YouTube TV, Apple TV, Fandango, Google Play.
All right.
Hey, the top 2, other than Skeet Ulrich, and the bottom 8, I'd never heard of any of them other than Skeet Ulrich. The top 2, I have heard of both of them. I was never impressed with either one of them. Liam Hemsworth and Sam Claflin from Hunger Games.
Who's Sam Claflin?
Never heard of Sam Claflin.
Who does he play in Hunger Games?
Doesn't say. Just says he was in Hunger Games.
I gotta look this up.
Also, isn't Liam Neeson like he's kind of a big
No,
deal? Like
Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, Hemsworth. Okay, I was like,
Liam Hemsworth. Yeah,
He's
not
the younger
Hemsley.
brother.
Liam
Well, that's
Neeson
kind of
is
weird that it'd be a
massive.
Hemsworth and a Hemsley and Liam for both of them. That's odd. The number one guy who was supposed to be a big star but just faded completely, Taylor Lautner from the Twilight movies.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's probably the best one on the list.
That's a good one.
Because you would have thought after the Twilight series, with how much the ladies loved him, that his career was just set for the rest of his life.
Well, he did make Grown Ups too.
What a pinnacle of cinema.
Yeah, honest to God, but this is kind of cold. Other times, Matt Damon back in the day, but he came back. But other times they fade into obscurity, like Josh Hartnett. That's kind of cold. He's been in a lot of stuff, hasn't he?
Didn't he stop making movies? He just got away from it.
Who's finally back on the scene again thanks to Oppenheimer. Josh Hartnett. I had him on when he was a little kid, when he was in that Halloween movie, Halloween 3 or whatever it was, or Halloween 23, or I don't know what the hell. But nice guy. He kind of liked to stay to himself. I do remember that. But I think he was a teenager when we had him on the queue.
You know, a guy who disappeared and he's had a surge. I mean, he's become an A-list guy. The guy that was in Twisters, and he was the Val Kilmer type character in the latest Top Gun that was done. Glenn. Now I'm drawing a blank on his last.
Powell.
Glenn Powell. He
There you
disappeared
go.
for a long time, and now he's all the rage. The one I was thinking of, Tom, because I was thinking more like somebody who looked like they'd be big in the 80s. She made a lot of movies, and then
Mhm.
Jamie Gertz. Remember her?
I remember the name, but I couldn't picture her in my head. I do remember her name, though. No question about it.
She became a favorite of mine because they made a movie in Hackensack, New Jersey, and Foschini's Bakery was in it, and that's where we got our bread when I lived in Hackensack.
There you go. That's very important.
It is.
Statistic
Good
right
bread,
there.
nothing like good bread.
Okay, Tevin, AJ, you got anybody that should have been on the list?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like the Taylor Lautner one was a good pick. I don't know any super obscure actors that I thought were going to be famous.
Okay, so what you got?
Oh, I was Dev Patel. He was the
Dev
lead
Patel.
in Slumdog Millionaire. The movie, it like won Best Picture at the Oscars. And
Yep.
then his next big role was like a supporting he's there in The Newsroom, a TV show.
Well, he has got a movie out there where he directed, produced, starred, wrote.
Yeah, Monkey Man or something like that, right?
Okay,
Yep.
see, I get confused because I wanted to watch Bad Monkey, and I found Monkey Man. I said, "Where's Vince Vaughn?"
Yeah,
I see
he's
is
in Bad
Very
Monkey.
different movies.
Yeah, he's in Bad Monkey now, right?
Yeah,
Vince
Vince
Vaughn.
Vaughn is.
Yep.
I always liked him. He was in town a while back, and matter of fact, Nick Swardson called me and said, "Hey, we're having a party. You should come over." And he was at the party. That boy is, man, he's got to be like 6'6". The guy's
I think
huge.
he is. And you know what? He's a guy that sort of disappeared for a while too.
He did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now so we can close with this then. Obscure radio and television people who you thought were going to make it in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Do you have anybody?
Well, there's three of us right here.
Four, that would be four, Bob.
Other
Learn how
than
to
you.
count. Learn how to count.
Hey, Minnesota and National Hall of Fame for you. So I don't think
Oh
you're
boy, there you go. But there's got to be somebody you thought was going to be a big deal, and just these fizzled out and didn't turn into anything in the Twin Cities. You don't have anybody? Okay, I'll just cover the whole thing then. I don't know. I never met him, but this guy Howard Stern, he just I thought he was going to be a big deal, and he just fizzled out and nothing happened. Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
Good one, Tom.
Sure like to run his mouth. I do remember that part.
Well, I always thought Mike Evans would be around forever, but
well, of course, then when the far lefties over there at that shithole, he mentioned one word and they had to fire him after 35 years or something
like that.
It's just unbelievable. What are you gonna do? All right, any closing words, Sandy?
Just the Vikings. I know you don't want to talk too much sports, but you won't see.
Fine.
I don't think you'll see Sam Darnold the rest of the preseason. They're going to put him under wraps because they don't want to lose him as well. They'll let
You might be right.
Nick Mullins play and Jaron Hall, and that'll be. I don't think we're going to see him. And it'll be an interesting. Let's just say it's going to be an interesting season for your Vikings.
So your boy's out for the whole year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Jesus.
I mean, he'll learn from it, and he'll not learn from the injury, but he'll get a chance to learn and watch, which is what they wanted anyway. And it's not the worst thing because it's not an injury. People come back from this injury. It's not like, well, will he be able to play again? How will he be affected? He'll be fine when he comes back.
That will be good. Okay, so what do you got a rodeo going on or something?
The Minnesota high school rodeo. It's there's about 150 kids that'll take part in it, and they have 4 events in the fall and 4 or 5 in the spring, and it's a 24 to 25 season. It's and every week now through Labor Day. Beyond Labor Day, they'll have a rodeo, and this is the first one, and the Buffalo Rodeo is hosting it. This is the thing I mentioned to you guys. If you wanted to come out and do an event, announce, you're still welcome. Let me know.
No, we can get that taken care of. Do you have any like famous rodeo kids from North High?
I think that of the 150, 149, 150 are not from North High.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask.
Are there any black people involved in like the steer roping?
I just asked that question. Basically,
I want to really narrow down.
There are some young black men. I'm not going to call them the other one. Yes, there are some that do take part.
Nice.
So, as a matter of fact, one of the best. They have guys called like pickup guys, where like when you do saddle bronc and bulls, and when they have to get off the horse or the bull, he's the guy that comes by and gets you off. And this guy's he's terrific. I mean, he's one of the best in the country at it, and actually lives in Minnesota. I was talking to him about what he does when he's not rotoing. I guess that's
rodeoing.
Yeah, thank you. He basically is a headhunter to find nurses to put around the country at different hospitals and clinics.
Bob, from now on, if you're going to be on with AJ, you can't say things like he's the guy that gets everybody else off.
Oh, was AJ
turned into
he tittering?
He was in a mess right after you said that.
My God, AJ, get your gutter out of the head or your head out of the gutter.
Or something.
Yeah.
All right, Sandy, we'll talk to you next week.
I look for that.
Thanks, Palomino. Yeah. Talk to you later.
Bye.
We shall take a break. Be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Timmy Lammers will join us, talk a little Hollywood right after this. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You damn right. Ladies and gentlemen, Timmy Lammers, brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Timmy, did you hear the list of the 10 people who were supposed to make it big but never did?
No. No, I want to hear quickly. Rundown.
I didn't even know like 9 out of the 10. I think I knew one of them. Skeet Ulrich is the only one that I knew.
Yeah. And back in the day, I do remember Skeet Ulrich when he debuted. I think it was Scream or something, right?
Yes, it was. Yep.
And I know some people, and I don't know if this is a compliment or not, but they referred to him as the poor man's Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He had that sort of brooding, smoldering, whatever. And I do believe that he did turn up in one of the last 2 Scream movies. They're trying. You know what the thing is? People like Skeet Ulrich, I think they've always been working, right? They've always been in those movies that you might not have heard of, or they premiere on video on demand or whatever, and they're not big theatrical releases. But the good thing, but it's kind of like a guy like Treat Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, no longer with us, but the sort of guy that had been around for years, and never really seemed to be that A-list movie star. Although he was a constant, his work was always so brilliant, and he was a supporting character most of the time. He was, however, and I should note, appropriately nominated for a supporting actor nomination for the Capote versus the Swans, because that was his last role. He was the head of what company? He is NBC or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but again, as long as you can find work is work, right?
I guess. Yeah, I suppose that's about right. Yeah, I had never even heard of like 8 out of the 10 people.
Well, throw me some of the other names quickly.
You guys have that up in front of you?
I do not, but I can.
I can open up I'll open my laptop and get it back for Bob.
Some of the ones I remember were like Hayden Christensen from Star Wars.
Right. I would argue that one though, because you're right. He did seem to disappear after episodes 2 and 3 of Star Wars, but his career has been resurging since they've been plugging his Darth Vader into the Star Wars series, doing prequel stuff and all that. So I wouldn't necessarily say that he didn't do anything. You got to admit, it's a lot of pressure. And I do remember at the time, the reviews weren't that complimentary about Hayden. I almost said Skeet Ulrich, about Hayden Christensen with Star Wars movies, but everybody seemed to welcome him back for the new thing. So that's a great thing. So yeah, actually, I think he's coming to the Twin Cities for some convention too.
Oh, that's nice. So I've heard of 3 of the 10.
Okay, who are the others?
Number 10 is Anna Sophia Robb from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, I do. Just because I work in the business and I have for so long, that you do know these names. And you're right. Although, again, somebody that's continued to work and just haven't gotten the headlines like other people have. But yeah, she's certainly a great actress. And again, I think dependable whenever you hire her for a film. So yeah.
Hayden Christensen from Star Wars, number 9. Brandon Routh from Superman Returns. Never even heard of him.
Yeah.
Taylor Kitsch from the shows Friday Night Lights and Waco and the movie John Carter. Then number 6, you got Skeet Ulrich from Scream. We already talked about him. Then the top 5, Mia Wasikowska or Wasikowska from Alice in Wonderland and In Treatment. Who was she banging again?
I don't think we
that
got
was
she was.
Shailene Woodley is who you're thinking of. And she was dating Aaron Rodgers for a little bit.
Shailene Woodley. Yeah, there you go. From Divergent.
Yeah. Yep.
Alex Pettifer from Magic Mike. And then the top two I've heard of again, Liam Hemsworth from Sam Claflin.
Yeah.
And Hunger Games, and Taylor Lautner from the Twilight movie.
Yeah, now that is one guy that really, I don't know, he again, I know that he's still working, but he dropped off the radar after that, which is unfortunate. And I do recognize all the names.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I don't. Not.
Yeah, and again, I mean, they've been in films that I've reviewed here and stuff like that. So today, talking about a cast that really isn't known at all, but you don't need to when you have aliens in the movie. Xenomorphs. Yes. Alien Romulus is the 7th film in the Alien saga, which began 45 years ago. Ridley Scott, that first film, classic Alien, came out in 1979. Quick story there. I interviewed Tom Skerritt for Top Gun anniversary of some sort. And he made a film in Waverly, Tom Skerritt, called Ice Castles.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him about any memories he had. He says, yeah, I was in Waverly when they sent me a script for this movie called Alien. It's like, wow, you first heard of Alien in Waverly. Wow. Sigourney Weaver obviously was the big star of the first 4 movies. And then Ridley Scott returned to direct. He directed the first one, returned to direct Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And they didn't do, they were hits, but not huge hits.
Right.
And now this director, Fede Alvarez, who directed the Evil Dead remake almost 10 years ago, if not longer, came in with a vision for this one and sort of harkens the original Alien and Aliens, which were really intense, scary movies. And these slimy xenomorphs, man. I mean, they're all practical effects, practical makeup effects, puppetry, all that sort of stuff goes into making these. No real huge CGI to speak of. So he brings all of those same sorts of things to this one. I love the movie. I really did. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10 on the Lamma-meter. Basically, it's about this new generation of from a mining colony out there in the universe who want to get off this planet. It's dreary, it's dank, it's never sunlight, nothing like that. And so they get a ship and they go to this abandoned outpost, which has these cryopods, because where they want to go is 9 years away. They got to go into cryo sleep for 9 years. So they need to turn up the heat for some reason in the outpost. There's a bunch of alien xenomorphs in their first or second stages that are encased in these cryo cases. So once that heats up, the heat is on, baby. These things escape and they go after the crew. So, it's not complicated in that regard, but it's a great thrill ride. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10 for Alien Romulus.
And they're calling the new aliens face huggers. Is that correct, Tim?
Face huggers? Yeah, well, actually they've been around for a while.
Okay.
That term.
Okay.
And so yeah, basically if you've seen Alien, there's these chest bursters, right? Where these things, they gestate inside of a human. Well, they plant the seed in these humans via the face huggers, right?
Okay.
And that's how that works. And in fact, it's not online yet, but I did interview Aileen Wu, who is actually the person on the poster for Alien Romulus wearing a face hugger. So she doesn't get her face on the poster, but she gets her face with the face hugger on it. But yeah, these are gnarly things. And all that was practical, by the way, too. I mean, she said that, that thing was a 3-pound, 4-pound thing sitting on my face for hours while they're filming the scenes and stuff. And yeah, I love this kind of stuff anyway. I don't know. I mean, are you guys fans of Aliens?
I mean, no, not me.
I'll watch it, but it's not an appointment. I got to go see this, rush to the theater type of thing. But I'd watch it if it was on TV.
That's right, Tevin. You don't like horror movies.
Not too much into the horror thing. I'm watching Archive 81 right now on Netflix, which is like a horror thriller type thing. But yeah, for the most part, I don't spend too much time watching horror films.
Well, in that event, and if you're like Tevin, if you're just so on horror films, there's a couple action comedies that are streaming today. Actually, The Union on Netflix, starring Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry and Mike Coulter, is new today on Netflix. And Jackpot, starring John Cena and Awkwafina, directed by Paul Feig, is on Prime Video. And they're both really entertaining. If you're not into the slapstick stuff, there's more of that in the Jackpot movie. And I know that because my wife just hates slapstick. So, she's the barometer. She just hates it. She just thinks it's silly and stupid. But I enjoy it. Look, Three Stooges, man. I mean, what guy didn't grow up of our generation, Tom, without loving the Three Stooges? So that's part of our comedy DNA. That as a viewer, we love that sort of stuff. And so that's what you get with those two films. So quick plug: Google Forbes, Tim Lammers, and interviewed John Cena, Awkwafina, Paul Feig, and Mark Wahlberg and Mike Coulter.
Oh my God. You got them all.
It was a slam bang week, baby. So Mike Coulter still needs to be online, but all the other ones are available. And then the Alien Woo for Alien Romulus will be later on today.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. And we'll talk next Tuesday, Tommy.
Yes, sir. Timmy Lammers brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. The lovely and talented Kristyn Burtt is up next.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News evening meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Got a lot on your mind on a Friday, do you?
I've been like typing away. It's been a very busy 24 hours with news. Obviously, starting with the Matthew Perry arrests yesterday. They actually happened earlier in the month, but they were announced yesterday. And I don't know if you guys read any of the stories or listened to the news about it, but it is devastating. It is not even just like, okay, you know, this happened and these people around, these people were absolute leeches, vultures taking advantage of someone who is in the throes of addiction. And really a truly sad ending, especially I think for a lot of people realizing that his personal assistant, who had worked for him for over 25 years, was the one administering a lot of the ketamine into his system and was the one who gave it to him that day.
So these people are going to jail for a long time, I'm assuming.
Very long time. This is a federal case. This is not just, because of the 5 people, and it was kind of a complex web. It was 2 doctors. So one doctor was procuring the ketamine by writing out fake prescriptions for a patient, and then selling it to a second doctor. That second doctor was then sending it off to this woman known as the Ketamine Queen, where she had, which is crazy. I mean, to have that nickname in North Hollywood, which is not far from where I live. And I'm like, I don't know who the Ketamine Queen is. Now I do. But, and then there was a middleman who then was connected to Matthew Perry's personal assistant, and all 5 of them were arrested and all faced different types of charges. But they were very aware, based off of the text messages and emails being passed back and forth between all of them, that they knew Matthew Perry's addiction was getting worse. And they're like, caution him to back off a little bit. But they didn't care. They literally said in one of the emails, I wonder how much this moron will pay for this.
Oh, God.
How much? Because the ketamine that they were giving, I guess, was worth about $15 like a vial. And he was spending upwards of $11,000 for this. It was costing him $55,000 a month.
That's what I understand. Now, Kristyn, I bought this for $12, but I'll sell it to you for $2,000.
I don't drink Pepsi.
Oh, there's your argument.
But Kristyn,
if it was a Coca-Cola, we could negotiate.
I just had a Coca-Cola this morning. It was delicious.
Wait, so you've had a Coke and a Pepsi already?
Yes, that's why I'm so jacked up.
It is 9:30.
Yeah, but the day's long. You got to get the caffeine in early.
That's a lot. Wait, is it full octane or is it diet?
It's diet. Oh, I don't do the sugar and the caffeine.
Because I was going to say that's a lot of sugar.
That'd be a lot of sugar and caffeine. No, I would like to drink coffee in the morning, but when I leave the house, by the time I leave the house, I don't really have time to stop and pick up coffee. So I just, go to the refrigerator, grab a couple of these, and I'm good to go.
Maybe you should get some of those like cold brews in your fridge.
I do have some of those. That's what I usually do, one of those and one of the cold brews. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
I have not been a coffee drinker my entire life until about a year ago. I didn't drink coffee ever before.
What changed?
No, I don't know. I just had some. I think coffee's a lot better than it used to be. When it used to come out of a can, it was not very good.
Folgers.
I didn't think. Yeah, like Folgers, that kind of deal.
Can.
Yeah, the red tin can. That's exactly right. I didn't think that was very good, but now the coffee's really good.
I don't drink coffee at all.
Well, you breathe air?
I breathe air.
I don't drink coffee.
Just
I don't
green
do this.
smoothies.
I'm perfect.
I like a protein shake and I like a chai latte. That is mine. Or a matcha latte. Either one.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's a green tea.
Oh, it's green tea. Okay.
Yeah, and then you add like oat milk to it, and then it's just and I'll drop a splash of vanilla. It's delicious.
What do you use for fake sugar?
Vanilla, the vanilla syrup.
Oh, the vanilla syrup. Okay, so there, because I knew you wouldn't use sugar. No way.
I do some sugar. I
Do
will
you?
do that. Yeah,
Oh,
but not like I don't sit there and go, I want 5 sugars in my matcha, because the matcha is usually sweetened anyway, so you don't need it. And then the vanilla syrup adds a splash.
One of my favorite things of all time No question about it. I'm walking into a 7-Eleven one time, and there's a guy coming out, and he's got, it's called like Joe, something Joe. It was like a very, very high caffeine canned coffee. God, I can't remember the name of it, whatever. But he's coming out of the 7-Eleven. I'm going in. I said, "Ooh, what's that?" He goes, "It's blah, 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 Joe. It really amps you, man." And I'm like, "Ooh, I guess it does." Pardon me. Calm down there, Pally. We're good to go. Don't worry about a thing. Yeah, he was already so jacked he could barely breathe.
Do you remember if it was a blue can by chance?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because then it's just called Joe Cold Brew.
Joe, it's just called Joe.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's what it was then. How much caffeine's in that? About 7,000 milligrams, or this
a little shy of that?
Yeah, I think it's just shy of 7,000.
Yeah, there you go. There you have it. Anything new coming out that I should know about?
Well, no, I've got lots of other news for you.
Oh, okay, that's what we'll do then.
We just had two Lammers on, so usually on Fridays I flip it.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Yeah. But the other thing, there's been other updates besides the Matthew Perry case. Johnny Wachter, if you guys remember that was the General Hospital actor that was killed. They took his catalytic converter. They did arrest 3 suspects, which is good. That's been the other big news. That was in downtown LA, which is not great area of Los Angeles to begin with, but
yeah,
it was gang related, unfortunately.
Jesus.
But you know, people have been really, I mean, this happened in May, that particular incident, and they just released the security footage maybe 2 weeks ago, and they were like, "Do you know anyone?" And we were like, "Why did it take so long for them to release any of the footage?" Because in downtown LA, there's cameras everywhere because of
right.
And I know his family and friends were really concerned, but the good news is within 2 weeks, they were able to identify the suspects. So hopefully they'll be going to jail for a long time.
That would be good.
Yeah. That was a really high profile case. And then the other big thing, also sort of attached to legal, Joel Souza. You may not know the name, but you certainly know the case. He was the director on Rust.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yes, he did a really deep dive, first time breaking his silence with Vanity Fair. It's actually a great article if anyone wants to read it. You know, you're going to have to commit to about 20 minutes or so to read it. It's not a short article, but he really just talks about that day and what happened, the aftermath, why they went back to set, and his current relationship with Alec Baldwin. And if you remember, he was wounded. So he was grazed with a bullet that had initially hit Helena Hutchins, who was the cinematographer. But he did not want to go back and film, but it was Matthew Hutchins, which is the widow of Helena, that just really wanted to press on and finish this film kind of in her honor. So they brought him on as executive producer. They filmed in a totally different state. A couple of actors said, "You know what, I don't want to do this." And they exited their role. And obviously they got some new crew members. And he said that, you know, he really had to establish a boundary with Alec, because he was like, "I'm in charge. I'm not going to let him be in charge," which kind of alluded to that Alec might have been calling the shots on the initial set.
Right.
And Vanity Fair said, "Hey, you know, where's your relationship now?" He's like, "It's just kind of nothing. We're not friends. We're not enemies, but that's it." And you could just really tell from diving into the Q&A that he did that there's just a lot of complicated feelings over the matter.
God, what's going to happen with all of this?
Well, I mean, we saw that Alec Baldwin's case was dismissed with prejudice because the prosecutors had withheld information from Alec Baldwin's lawyers. It doesn't look like it's going to wind up coming back into the legal system. However, you have Alec Baldwin and the production company still being sued. There's a lot of civil cases going on. Matthew Hutchins' case from that has been settled, but there are other people who worked on the set that have also sued Alec and some of the other producers. So he is going to be in and out of court for a long time over this.
It just amazes me is how filthy our court system has gotten at a national level. If you're Alec Baldwin, you're good to go. If you're Donald Trump, you're going to go to prison forever. We are misused. And look, I'm not, defending either one of them. What I'm saying is, though, is we're using our court system to punish people when we shouldn't be doing that, or we're letting people off for something they did just because we happen to like them. That's way out of line.
I don't know if Alec Baldwin is liked. I mean, his really was the situation of the prosecutors. Just, I mean, they had their case.
Right.
The fact that they were withholding evidence totally made the case get tossed out of court. So
why would they do that?
I'm guessing that you start letting your personal opinion influence the case. And you're like, I'm going to get this guy no matter what. But instead of letting everything play out, the due process, this is where we landed. And I think, you know, some of the jurors who were on that particular case, a few of them had spoken to the press. I think it would have wound up in a hung jury, because a couple of them were like, I was already leaning toward guilty. And other people were like, no way was this his fault.
Right. We should not be using our court system like it's our little play toy. That's not good.
Well, especially when you're a prosecutor, you're like, come on.
You're exactly. Like, what the
do
hell
everything by the book. Yeah. And so I don't think we'll ever have answers on this. And honestly, I'm sure someone will write a tell-all book on this. I'm sure of it. Once all of the legal cases are over with. But I feel like, given that this case is so sad, that it feels weird that in 2025, we're going to see Alec Baldwin and Ilaria, our favorite person who cannot say cucumber, are doing a reality show. It just feels really ignorant of what Helena Hutchins' family went through and some of the other people on set that witnessed it. Because there is trauma. If you witness a shooting, you are still going to have trauma.
Right. No question about it. It's a whole different world now, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
I don't know. But I was telling you, like, the last 24 hours, so much news, but I was like, I cannot read any more of these like sad stories. It's just, and you know, I wasn't a big Friends fan and I wasn't a big Matthew Perry fan, but just seeing like how people took advantage of someone in their time of need. When he needed a friend, and I'm sure he's burned plenty of bridges because he was a lifelong addict, but still, it's a disease, it's an illness, and to see how isolated he was, especially in those last moments, is just kind of awful.
But the problem, I think, is that about 45 years ago, the system started telling us, hey, you're very, very special, and you should just live your life, and you should do whatever you want to do. We should have never told children that. That was a very bad idea, because everything is about me, more me now.
You mean everyone gets a trophy even if you lose?
Everyone gets a trophy now. It's disgusting. And what are you going to do?
I didn't get the trophy. So if you lost, you lost.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, you get
Suck
the
it up, kiddo.
Now you earn the trophy, though. That's the big difference.
But everybody earns a trophy. I don't know if they still do it. I know, but there was an era. I don't know if it was like the early aughts or whatever, but if your team lost, you still got a trophy.
Yeah, the
in soccer or whatever.
Yeah, the participation trophies.
Yep. Big mistake. I mean, there are people now, and I heard a couple of people, they look to be maybe around 30 years old, walking through the halls here at our building, talking about, yeah, I know it's part of my job, but you know, I got enough stuff to do. I'm not doing that. I just do the parts that I want to do. That's not why you get paid to do the parts you want to do. You got to do all of them because you're getting paid to do it. Right.
In their defense, I'm going to say one thing.
I
think that no. They should be doing whatever the parameters of their job description is. However, a lot of times, and everyone, a lot of people have weathered through this. You go through a layoff, and then all of a sudden, you have the work of 3 people. But have they given you a pay raise for that work of the people that are now gone? No. And that's where I think people get very upset, and I think rightfully so.
And once again, I'm proving what a wonderful person I am because I put up with you 3. So think about that, you know? Oh, God.
You tolerate us very well.
Yes. Oh, there's no question about it. It's just give. That's all I have to say. All right. Any closing words, sister?
No, it's just there's a lot of fun things. I know Tim Lammers mentioned a few of them with this weekend. For all of your viewers who love fashion in France, you know that Emily in Paris is out. I have a feeling Alex is watching it this weekend, Tom. And I'm sure she is. She has a very similar taste to me. I'm always like looking through her Instagram and I'm like, yes. Yeah, and that John Cena obviously has a deal with Amazon Prime, and he and Awkwafina. It's a goofy movie, but I think people, if you're looking for something, if you liked, what was that? Ricky Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki. Yeah. If you like that, it's kind of in that same sort of genre. So if you're looking for something light and fluffy, go ahead. It's the lottery.
Magnificent. We shall talk to you next week.
See you on Monday.
Thanks very much. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. That's going to do it. Good job from home, AJ. Nice job.
I'd say credit to Tevin because he got a text. He got a text over at 11 o'clock last night. I was seeing stars. I was leaving the hospital just in shambles. And I said, hey, I'm going to need you to step up. Without hesitation, he did. So Tevin, thank you for allowing me to fumble over myself with my morning and not have to like try to drive in. Because I think legally I'm not supposed to.
It was a little bumpy at the beginning, but we got it all worked out. And I apologize for not calling you a sugar tit first thing this morning.
We should have.
Yeah. So we'll say that for Monday.
And why did you see Tevin and me in your dreams or something? Is that you said you were seeing stars? So yeah. All right, Pally, we'll get better.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully I have clearance from a doctor to use my arm by Monday's show.
Good plan. All right, both of you have a great weekend. Family show's up in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, have a good weekend, guys.